Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Stomp This Way. Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, are you ready for our movie this week?
Oh, you know it. You
sound excited.
it was the greatest movie ever.
Greatest movie ever. You've never seen this film before, have you?
I don't know why I would see it before.
No, you watch some weird stuff. Now, hold on. But no, this is the first time watch for both of us. I did not own this movie, so I was like, I bet it's streaming somewhere. The only place it was streaming for free was Plex, which is now on Amazon.
Subsidiary.
Yeah, Amazon product. But lots of ads on Plex. Turned a 70-minute movie into a 90-minute movie. But anyway, what is that movie?
I think we're talking about the Giant Behemoth.
That's right. We are. Although the version we watched was titled Behemoth the Sea Monster.
The edited version.
Yes. We'll talk about that here in a second. But there was an edited version put out, and that is the version we watched, and we know because of the title, and it was only about 69 minutes. Nice. Versus the original runtime of 71 minutes.
So they cut out 3 minutes?
They cut out about 2 minutes, yes. We'll talk about that here in a second. But in Germany, they called this the Monster from Loch Ness. So
wow.
There you go. Pretty accurate description, honestly.
It looks like the Loch Ness
It
Monster.
looks like the Loch Ness. They even make a joke about it at one point,
yeah.
I think. Or, make a comment about it. But anyway, are you ready for some production trivia?
Sure.
All right. Well, did you know that originally this was supposed to be a movie about an amorphous blob of radiation?
You can tell.
But it was changed after the success of The Beast of 20,000 Fathoms. And the producer was like, hey, I want it to be more like that movie. They were like, okay.
Okay.
They filmed this, I don't know if you could tell, in Great Britain.
I was wondering if they did that.
Yeah, I wonder where all those accents came from.
It's not like they said it like a billion times in the movie.
Did you know that this was a Willis O'Brien, right? And he did the effect shots in his LA studio until, just like Black Scorpion, it ran out of money, so they went to old Pete Peterson's garage. A lot of work got done in Pete Peterson's garage, let me tell you. Pretty sure that's the same assistant from Black Scorpion. Again, this is late in Willis O'Brien's career. He would be dead just, I think, 3 years later. And, Harryhausen was taking all the actual, monster movies that had budgets.
Yeah.
his own protege. And so he was, stuck doing these projects. Speaking of O'Brien, stock screams, I think from Fay Ray, were used from the film King Kong, were used in the ferry attack and the London invasion scenes.
Wow.
So there you go. A little Willis O'Brien connection. To save money, and they cut every buck they could, let me tell you. The attacks on London and the ferry were filmed without sound. All the sound effects and dialogue were added in post. And in the swimming scenes, only the back legs were animated to move, so they could save money on the animation. According to IMDb trivia, the full creature does not appear until it's at exactly the 1 hour mark. Now, I looked in the version of the movie we watched, it's a few minutes earlier.
Yeah.
It's like 53 minutes or something, but
Probably because it's a few minutes shorter.
because they cut a few minutes out. So it's not quite an hour, but it's pretty close. Again, in a movie that's only 70 minutes long, less than 70, the version we watched. So the reason there are two versions of the movie, the original version, which like I say was 71 minutes, got an X certificate from the British Board of Film Censors, which was basically the equivalent of an R rating at the time.
For what?
Exactly. I don't know. So they had to cut. They went back and they cut 2 minutes out of the movie and retitled it as Behemoth the Sea Monster.
What happened in those 2 minutes?
And they sent it back to the border certificate and got an A rating, which is like a G rating. I have to imagine it probably had to do with the radiation burns.
Yeah.
Because back then, we've talked about it, I think, in a couple of Hishiro Honda movies where they had to cut scenes of radiation burns because film censors, especially in Japan at the time, were really sensitive about showing like stuff related to radiation.
Yeah.
And I will say that, I mean, it's a B picture, barely a B picture, but the radiation burn stuff is, again, for a movie from the 50s would be kind of edgy, I guess. So yeah, we probably watched the version of the movie where the best 2 minutes of the movie were cut out, but I have to imagine it had to do with the radiation burn stuff. I highly doubt it had to do with like the creature, like, I don't know, eating people or something. But yeah. So anyway, Andrew, do we know anything about the box office of this movie?
Barely anything.
Barely.
There's like two things we know.
Yeah.
It was released March 3rd,
Yeah.
1959.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And a budget of $750K.
That's right. That's what it said. Now, I would not be shocked if it was a lot cheaper, but the Wikipedia said 750,000. So that is what we're rolling with. But anyway, we're going to listen to a trailer and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the cast and crew, read off a plot summary, and talk all about the Giant Behemoth. See you in a bit.
Gentlemen, we are witnessing a biological chain reaction, a geometrical progression of deadly menace.
Look there. 2 points off the port bow.
We must find a way of destroying this creature in one piece. Judging by the beast's size, I would say it was powerful enough to drive a battleship.
Of course, its tremendous electric charge is what projects the radiation. That's what makes the creature so deadly.
Well, have you any concrete suggestions?
Yes. First, block off the Thames.
Listeners, there it was, the Giant Behemoth.
Oh, yeah.
All right. This film was directed by Eugene Lourie. Do you know, we've talked about Eugene Lourie before. He directed, I was just watching this last night. He directed Gorgo.
Oh.
He also, I think he directed The Black Scorpion. He kind of went on a streak of monster movies and directed The Black Scorpion, I believe. He also directed a movie called The Giant Colossus I saw. We might have to
watch that.
break that one out. But anyway, directed by Eugene Lourie. And then if you watch the edited version of the movie, it has a co-director of Douglas Hickox. I don't know if he only did the editing for the G-rated version or if he also was working on the original film or what. But anyway.
I don't know.
It was written by Daniel Lewis James, Eugene Lourie, Robert Abel, and Alan Adler. Music by Edwin Astley. Effects by Willis O'Brien and others. And starring Gene Evans and Andre Morel. Again, I think Willis O'Brien was mostly a supervisor at this point. I don't think he did much of the hands-on stuff. I think that was Mr. Pete Peterson and some other guys. But anyway.
He was there.
He was there. He was telling them, back in my day, this is how we did it. But, anyway, plot summary. After a Scottish fisherman is found dead from severe radiation burns, American scientist Steve Carnes travels to investigate. Teaming up with his British colleague, Professor Bickford, he soon discovers that large numbers of fish are washing ashore, also contaminated with radiation. Carnes begins to suspect that a massive sea creature is responsible. Though Bickford is initially skeptical, mounting evidence forces him to reconsider. When Carnes catches a glimpse of the creature while at sea, his fears are confirmed. As the death toll rises, paleontologist Dr. Sampson identifies the beast as a giant Paleosaurus, an ancient aquatic dinosaur capable of generating powerful electric pulses. Attempting to photograph the creature from a helicopter, Sampson is killed in the process. The monster, dubbed the Behemoth, attacks a ferry, killing all aboard, and soon turns its fury toward London. With the city evacuating in panic, Carnes and Bickford advise a desperate plan. They prepare a radium payload to be fitted into a torpedo, hoping to intensify the radiation already poisoning the creature and bring it down for good. When the Behemoth retreats into the River Thames, Carnes boards a submarine armed with the torpedo. The shot is fired, striking the monster directly in the mouth. The Behemoth lets out a final agonized roar before collapsing into the river. With the threat seemingly ended, Carnes and Bickford drive away as a radio broadcast reports dead fish washing up along the eastern coast of the United States, hinting that the nightmare may not be over. Ooh. Yeah. So, the movie, starts with this kind of, prologue or whatever you want to call it, where Professor Carnes, I don't know that he's the main character at this point, but Professor Carnes or Dr. Carnes or whatever they call him, Scientist Carnes, is giving this warning to this panel of scientists about how radiation testing on the sea is poisoning all the sea creatures or something.
Yeah.
And then we cut and we see this old man and his daughter are coming back from a fishing trip.
Yep.
And she runs ahead to go get dinner prepared or whatever. And he stays behind. And all we see, kind of reminiscent of, the original Godzilla movie where the sailors are on the ship and you just see the sea kind of bubble up and then a big flash of light and everyone's dead. He just kind of looks up in terror and there's this big flash of light. And his daughter, and she thinks he's at the tavern when he doesn't come home. So she goes to the tavern and finds her male friend. And they go looking for his... Tom. Was his name Tom?
Tom.
They go looking for her dad, and he's still alive, barely, on the shore, and he's got these terrible radiation burns. They don't know they're radiation burns, but
burns.
We know. And he says something about the Behemoth, and he dies. And the Behemoth, it means giant.
Yeah.
Also, I believe, is one of the 7 kings of hell. Or something. They make several references to a story in the Bible in this movie. But anyway, I'm thinking at this point that young girl and her boyfriend are going to be the main characters of this movie because, most of these kind of bee creatures have like a strapping young man and his pretty girlfriend as the lead characters, but I'm wrong.
The guy stupidly goes up to a glowing thing and just shoves his hand into it.
Yeah, he's like, what is this? Let me touch it. And immediately gets radiation burns on his hand. And yeah, that was kind of funny. But this Dr. Carnes that we saw at the beginning of the movie, he is trying to get a flight back to the U.S., and just as the hotel receptionist is able to get that flight booked for him, because back in those days, I guess that was a thing.
Yeah.
He hears a TV report about, this TV anchor is making like a light report of someone reporting a giant sea monster. And he's like, my God, has it finally come? And he doesn't say that. But anyway, he's like, cancel my reservation. And he's going to go investigate this giant monster. Because the news anchor said something about, some comment about, I guess this confirms that not all the Scottish liquor was exported to the U.S.
Yeah.
But anyway. And yeah, the movie's on. And
Is it?
Is the movie ever on? I don't know. He meets up with our second main character.
Yeah.
This Professor Bickford. You ever heard a British name before? Bickford. And one of my early problems with the movie. First of all, we're watching this on Plex, right?
Yeah.
It's not the best transfer ever. Pictures are a little spotty. And I don't know if this is a Plex problem or like an original problem with the film. The sound mix is not good. And then when you add on the fact that the British cast is like mumbling their way through it and terrible and in heavy British accents.
They're not mumbling, they're just British.
Yeah, I think they're mumbling and British, and I can't understand half of what they're saying. So that's one of my problems. But anyway, so yeah, this Carnes fella and this Bickford fella are gonna, I don't know, start investigating. They go to the local village doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
And
well, they do that after they meet Tom again.
Well, they meet Tom at the doctor's office, right?
No.
Yeah.
Remember, they go to the docks first. And then Tom takes them to the doctor's office.
Oh, is that how it happened? Nah, I totally wiped that
it's
from
like
my memory.
we watched a different movie.
I must have blanked out during that part.
Yeah.
Okay, so they meet him, and they
had that whole conversation with all those people on the dock about the fish and all that.
I remember that. Was Tom one of those guys?
He was the main guy there.
Oh, okay.
He was the guy with the arm sling.
Okay, I guess I didn't register with me. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so they meet Tom, then they go to the doctor, and then they have the doctor's like, I don't know, could have been an allergic reaction to the jellyfish or something.
Yeah.
And
He's like, have you ever seen that bad of an allergic reaction? No.
Then he has Tom takes his bandage off, and he's got like a radiation burn on his hand.
Yeah.
And so now, Carnes is like, it's got to be radiation, and Bickford's a little more like, I don't know, we gotta investigate and stuff. But they're gonna go and collect some fish specimens, I guess, and they're gonna take it to their lab or whatever. And we get a protracted scene of them like filleting some fish, putting them on a photograph, like an X-ray table,
and him just telling them exactly what he's doing.
He's like, we don't even have to hit it with the radiation. We're just looking to see if there's already radiation in the fish. And they take the pictures and they put it up on the thing. And one of the fish has got like a weird glow on the photograph. So then they just like, why don't we just turn out all the lights and see which ones glows? It's like, why didn't you start with that? But
well, they were seeing if any light got into the room.
Oh, from the
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so one of the fish is glowing,
and
they
that's
cut
when
it
they
out,
see the fish glowing.
and they're like, oh boy, it's radioactive.
And then they go get the picture of the fish that was glowing, and they see all of his bones and organs are glowing.
Yeah. So they're like, uh-oh.
Mhm.
And then, so now Carnes has got it in his head because, he heard the story about the Scottish fisherman, like saying behemoth.
Yeah.
It's like, there's some giant creature irradiating the fish. And Bickford's still like, I don't know,
Mhm.
sounds a bit far-fetched, but
Yeah.
I don't know. About 30 minutes into the movie,
Yeah.
I think, is when Carnes goes out on a boat and sees the puppet head of the
The behemoth.
of the monster, and that's the first sight that we, other than the lights earlier, that's the first sight we see of the monster. And they don't have money for this movie because the monster is barely shown, and like I said, 30 minutes in, we see the puppet head, and then Carnes is like, oh, now my suspicions are confirmed or whatever, and Bickford says that his was confirmed too because his lab people said that the cells found on the fish were of an unknown creature or something. I don't know. But anyway, so they're talking to the military and they're like, what are we going to do? He's like, well, I don't know, but it's heading north. And, there's some montage of stuff happening, I guess. And
Yeah.
they go to this Dr. Sampson guy. I will say the Dr. Sampson guy injects a little bit of life into this movie because he's like very eccentric and he's like, he's telling them about, he thinks it's a paleosaur or whatever. And then they're like, well, this footprint in this picture, the creature that made this footprint isn't dead. And he's like, what?
What?
And then he goes on about how, like, I spent my whole life.
That's when he really gets crazy.
And he's like, I spent my whole life. I don't remember what he said. Something about, and he's like, but is it finally time for it to come out of the sea? And he's a kind of a fun character. He doesn't stick around very long.
He dies early on.
Because they leave, and then Dr. Sampson gets in a helicopter to go take pictures, and we see, we'll talk about it in effects, but we quote unquote see the creature underwater, and Dr. Sampson like is trying to take pictures, and then it like surfaces and like flashes. You don't see the creature, but it like flashes their light, and it's such an intense burst that it causes their helicopter to explode.
It's electromagnetic.
We'll figure out. It's not just radiation. It's the normal creature had like an electric eel power where it could like emit bursts of electricity, but because it's irradiated, I guess it's emitting bursts of radiation instead.
And no, radiated electricity.
Sure. And anyway, the helicopter explodes, and at some point, like there's a farmer and his son, and you see like just a brief glimpse of like the body of the creature moving across, and then it flashes them and burns them. And anyway, about 45 minutes into the movie, we finally get a decent shot of the head puppet when this creature attacks the ferry. And I don't even think there's any stop motion in this scene. But like there's a prop of the tail, and there's like a miniature of the ferry, and the tail like pushes the ferry over or something, and it's intercut with shots of the people on the ferry like screaming and running around and stuff. And then there's some more talk about what are we gonna do? Let's block off the River Thames, and they're like, I don't know about that. And a few minutes later, it finally attacks London, and this is where we get the full body shot of the monster, and all the effects come in. And it's stomping through the city and, terrorizing people, and, things are happening and people are running and then all that. And, What else happens?
A lot of people get burnt.
A lot of people get radiation burnt.
When it gets too close, they don't get burnt. They just get burnt. Like, I don't know. It's a weird effect. Like, they get burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, they just like go up like smoke.
Yeah.
It steps on some cars, it does the whole, breaks a couple of model buildings apart.
Yeah.
And then, they cut back, and, Carnes and Bickford are trying to figure out what to do. And they decide that the best way to handle this is to. I got some of this from Wikipedia. I didn't get all this from the movie, but they're gonna put some radium in a torpedo head.
Yeah.
And the goal is to, because he said we can't blast it because we'd blast radioactive bits everywhere. Although I would think a torpedo would do the same, but he's like, but we put the torpedo and it's underwater and we're going to put radium in it and that's going to like accelerate the radiation sickness or something and kill it. And so there's some intercut shots of like Bickford, like, you know, extracting some radium or something and putting it in this torpedo warhead.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's a shot of there's a scene of the monster like tearing through some power lines and, you know, all the classic monster stuff. And then it like gets on the London Bridge and the London Bridge, of course, collapses under its weight and it falls back into the River Thames. So then Carnes gets in the submarine and they launch an expensive military submarine into the River Thames. And I don't know how deep the River Thames is, but sure, I'll go with it. And
I mean, deep enough for a submarine.
Apparently, according to the movie anyway. And, you know, they have an encounter with the monster. It knocks them around a little bit. But it shoots it right in the mouth with that torpedo, and then the monster surfaces and screams, just kind of like Godzilla in the original Godzilla movie. And then it dies.
Yep.
And then they're like, we did it. And then Carnes and Bickford get in their car, but on the radio, there's a report of dead fish washing up on the eastern seaboard of the United States. And they get that all shucks look.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get the end. And it's over.
Shucks.
Gratefully. Yeah, I mean, listen, we've watched a bunch of movies like this.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the strength of these movies, I don't expect great character work or anything like that. All I ask for is some fun creature stuff. The problem with this movie is they didn't have any money. So the creature is not there.
Well, technically, they had 750,000.
Allegedly. I don't know where it went. But the money's not there. And, you know, like I said, like, it takes us 45 minutes for the creature to even really do anything other than flash some lights at some people. And it attacks that ferry in a pretty cheap sequence, as we'll talk about.
I don't think it's the worst one to watch, though.
And then about 15 minutes in, or 15 minutes until the end of the movie is when it attacks London, and you know, we get the scenes of it attacking London and all that, and we'll talk about that in effects. And it's fine, you know, it functions as a monster flick, but yeah, the big problem is they just didn't have the money, and the characters are not interesting. Like I said, the most fun character is Dr. Samson, and he's like in 2 scenes and killed.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's only 70 minutes. It felt longer. Some of that might have been that we watched 15 minutes of Flex ads too.
Yeah.
Didn't help. But yeah.
Yeah. I think the best 50s monster movies we watched so far was The Deadly Mantis.
Was it? I don't know. It was better than this, but
I think we gave The Deadly Mantis.
I mean, we watched some.
I think we gave The Deadly Mantis the best of all the 50 movies.
We've watched some pretty good ones. We've watched Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, you know.
Yes.
Others. Them was another one. I think we enjoyed. But yeah. You want to do creature design?
Sure.
All right. Well, it's what did it say? A Paleosaurus? Yeah. You know, it's a dinosaur. It's a quadruped. It's an aquatic creature, but it's not like the Loch Ness, like the flipper dinosaur. Like, it's actually got legs. And but it is got the long neck and everything like that, and the tail. And yeah, it flashes like it's radioactive pulse at you, and you get radiation burns. I actually like the concept of like the creature being so irradiated, like just, you know, being around it. At first I'm like, oh, it's just like being around it gives you radiation burns, but it actually is like an attack the creature uses. But I like that concept, and I actually think, you know, they pull that off. Well, we'll talk about effects more broadly here in a minute, but now I like the design of the creature's fine. It's a pretty, you know, generic dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting into effects, I like the radiation burn makeup and all that. Like I said, it's probably what got the movie its X rating or whatever back in the
X-rating.
50s. And maybe they probably cut out 2 minutes of a lot more of that. But I like that concept. The effects, like I said, for a majority of the movie, we don't see the monster. For the first, hour of the movie or so, we only see like puppet, like we'll see a head puppet and a tail puppet. Doesn't really look all that great. And then when we get to the stop motion at the end of the movie, it's fine. Not O'Brien's best work. They definitely reuse a few shots. Like there's a one shot, like it's a close up. It's stop animated, but it's like a close up of the head, like kind of whipping around. They use it no less than like 4 times.
Yeah.
During the city rampage scene. But yeah, like they don't animate the front legs when it's swimming to save money. So, it's not his best work. They do there's several shots of like the people running in the foreground and then like the monster superimposed in the background.
Yeah.
Looks okay. Doesn't look
It looks
super
passable.
great. I don't think the creature's as articulated as, again, O'Brien's better work, obviously. I think the best looking scene, honestly, is when it like tears through the power lines. The power lines, they actually look pretty good of it, like attacking the power lines and like the animated like electrical effect, and then it ripping the power lines and dragging them along with him or whatever. And then for some reason, like something gets struck by electricity and like explodes and the city catches on fire. I wasn't really sure what happened there, but maybe it was an oil refinery or something, but that looked good. And then, like I said, the stuff underwater, they didn't animate the front legs. It doesn't look super fluid, but there's like a miniature submarine. It looks okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think the worst effect in the movie though is when they're like trying to like show the surface of the water and him swimming under the water, and it looks like they just drew a white outline on the film and called it a day. That looked pretty bad, but
they try to say he's irradiated so you can see him underwater.
he glows underwater. Yeah, sure. That didn't look great, but there's the model helicopter explodes. That looked okay. But so it is what it is. And then score, pretty generic monster movie score. Nothing special. Nothing special. Got anything to add?
No, you pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, all right. Well, you want to get into some final thoughts?
Sure.
Why don't you go for it?
Like Aaron, like you said, the movie, it's not the best movie we've seen. The 50 monster movies. There's not much monster in it.
Yeah.
The acting it's all right. They're okay actors. I've seen a lot worse acting in these 50 movies.
Yeah, I think Carnes is a decent actor. I mean, he's not asked to do much.
Yeah.
The British people do kind of mumble, I think.
The-
Samson was the most fun.
Yeah.
For like the 2 scenes he was there.
Yeah. He was cool. He actually, you could understand what he said.
Yeah, sometimes.
Until he went on the rambling part.
Yeah, then he went on the rambling about, I'm never going to see it or whatever.
But, the effects in it, it's okay for what they were doing. The effects aren't they're pretty good for the most part in most scenes. Some scenes, it gets a little wonky, but, I can forgive that.
Yeah.
And the score, it's there.
Yeah.
Don't remember much of it, but it's there.
Yeah.
And I think I'll give this movie. I'll give it a D+.
Yeah, listen, ultimately it's a budget thing. I mean, there's just not a lot of monster in this movie. I mean, it probably has a total of 5 minutes of screen time. Maybe. And now thankfully it's a short movie. But yeah, the characters are pretty your typical cardboard cutout characters, not that interesting. It's not O'Brien's best work. The puppets don't look the puppets, but when they're not stop animated, don't look that great. Stop animation is fine. Not his best work, a little more rigid than normal. They recycle some shots and all of that. The little miniatures are okay, I guess. like I said, I like the concept of the radiation burns and all of that. Too bad they didn't have more of a budget to pull it off better. But yeah, it's a monster movie with very little monster, and that is unfortunate. And yeah, it avoids an F, but I'm gonna give it a D. It's not the best. I thought Black Scorpion was better.
Yeah.
Black Scorpion at least had some pretty good Scorpion sequences.
And I enjoyed the characters in Black Scorpion.
Yeah, somewhat. But
the kid was the
was
best.
something. But yeah. So anyway, not much news. They did put on a drone show in LA for the premiere of Monarch season 2. I think it broke the record for the tallest drone show. Like when they formed Godzilla, and like it had Godzilla and Kong and Titan X, like, the drones make them and stuff. But it's pretty neat. You can see the videos online if you haven't. But as far as the schedule goes, so for the upcoming month of March, we have Attack of the Giant Leeches, Beast from Haunted Cave, The Monster That Challenged the World. And then I've added a couple of movies to the calendar. To close out March, we'll be doing a movie called The Crawling Eye.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And then I did for Kong's birthday. I was like, I want to do something fun for Kong this year. We've been doing stuff for Godzilla's birthday and all that. Well, we didn't cover the animated Kong movies.
Oh no!
So for Kong's birthday, I looked it up. The anniversary of the release date of the original Kong is April 7th, I believe. We have an episode scheduled to come out April 8th. So for that week, we're gonna do that animated musical, The Mighty Kong, from the 90s.
Why did you pick the worst one to do?
Well, there's 3 animated movies. There's the musical, and then there's the 2 follow-up movies to that animated King Kong show. So, I think, maybe we'll get to the other Kong stuff. We did all the Godzilla TV shows, so we might go back and review like some King Kong cartoons, and then when we do that one particular King Kong cartoon, we'll do we might make it a yearly thing. Like every year for King Kong's birthday, we'll do a different King Kong project.
It might be that musical might not be that bad.
I bet it's horrible, but if it was good, we would more people would have known about it. But, we'll watch it. It's on Tubi, and
the great and all powerful Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi. It blesses us with all kinds of wonderful little things. But so that's what we got coming up for the immediate future. But other than that, I think, is that about it, Andrew?
I think that's about it.
All right. Well, don't forget that you can always contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
And you can find our website at www.stompthisway.wordpress.com.
That's right. And you can also find us on social media on X, Instagram, and Facebook at Stomp This Way. And don't forget to check out our other podcast, Pulse Check, a horror movie podcast. And we'll be doing a couple of episodes on the Scream franchise coming up. Including the new film. So look forward to that. But I think that's it. Don't forget, next week is Attack of the Giant Leeches. And as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And we will see you next time.